time polymorphism, overloading is there. For runtime related, overriding is there. Overloading, overriding. For example, method overloading, method overriding. Within the same class, one function, if more than one time defining with different parameters, are called as method overloading. For example, this is one employee class. So inside this one method I'm defining as inside this M1 method. So self and a there. And now here there are some logics we are writing whatever we want. And the same function, same method name. So we can create with a different parameters. So x comma y like this. And then here the required logics we can write it. Okay, so this process is called as method overloading. Same method with different parameters. Same method name more than one time with different parameters if creating inside the same class called as method overloading. So by default, Python executing only this last method. So first this one creating in the memory, it is replacing with by this one, replacing with this one. So whenever we are calling M1 function, with this signature matching related, then executing, otherwise not executing. This is we are unable to executing by default. So that's why sometimes asking in interviews, is Python supporting overloading concept or not asking? Partially supporting by default. More than one time, if any method is creating, only latest one will be available in the memory location. These all are identifiers. If any identifiers more than one time if creating, only latest one available in the memory. If we want to use these all things, M1 of one variable, M1 of two variables related, so we need to use what, guys? On top of here, dispatch, dispatch decorator we have to use with the signature. With the signature like this we can use. If one integer value sending, this one executing. Even one float value sending also, this is not executing. Int type must be matching, then only it is executing. And next here, at the rate dispatch of so int comma int. If I'm using like that, so two integer signatures, this one executing. And you can also create one more function, one more method. So if I'm using here str and str, so here also two variables x and y, here also x and y. But two integers if sending, this one executing, two string values if sending, this one executing. Got it, this one? So using this dispatch decorator, we can achieve polymorphism 100%. So this dispatch method is available in where? From multiple dispatch. From multiple dispatch, guys. From multiple dispatch, we can import this dispatch decorator. This is overloading concept. So overriding means simply class person is there. So in this person class, any one method name, for example, M1 method assumption, M1 method with some implementation there. Next, in the child class, class employee of person, So inheriting from the person, and the same method name we can implement here with different other implementation. So if we are not satisfying with the parent method implementation, same method in the child class, we can re-implement as per the child requirements. So along with the child logics, parent logics also, if we want to use, then here we are going to use super method dot M1 method. So now here, what are the logics there? These all logics are coming to here. And next, this one also executing. This is a method overriding. Same method name with the same signature. Same method name with the same signature. One time in the parent, one time in the child class. If available, that is called method overriding. Same method name more than one time with different parameters within the same class. That is overloading. The definitions more important. You have to give clear answers in interview. People getting confusing as a lot of people for overloading, overriding definition, for overriding, overloading definitions. People are explaining. So prepare well. All are we clear? And I uploaded these all materials up to the polymorphism, interview questions and all. Check it guys, portal access material and interview questions, do preparation well. So it's very, very important. And now today we are going to discussing one more Roop's principle, encapsulation. One more Roop's principle, encapsulation. So using this security we can provide to our data members. Inside the class, data variables and methods we can create. So without accessing from outside the interfaces, we can restrict our data members from outside interfaces. So nothing but security providing to our data members. So simple one word answer, what is the use of encapsulation? Using encapsulation, we can provide the security to our data members. Using polymorphism, what we can do? Using polymorphism, multiple implementations we can provide for same entity or same method. Okay, different behavior. Here M1 with different behavior, here M1 with different behavior like that. Or else a parent class method re-implementing in the child class with the new implementations. Okay, so one function, one method performs multiple behaviors, multi-behaviors purpose. So we can use a polymorphism. Inheritance we can use for usability. Parent members into child class reusing purpose, we can use inheritance. Next, abstraction, their fourth one, that is the data hiding purpose. All unnecessary things hiding from the user, only necessary things showing to the user, that is a abstraction. So each one having its own behavior, altogether we can use in the real-time development. Okay, so now we'll discuss about the encapsulation. Check it guys, some points about the encapsulation. So definition guys, the wrapping up of data and methods. The wrapping up of data and the methods together into a single unit is called as encapsulation. Data members, data nothing but variables. Inside the class, some variables we are creating with values and some methods we are creating. So data variables and methods together we are binding as a single unit. That is nothing but class guys. Okay, so this process is technically called as encapsulation. So simply data members plus function or methods inside the class, methods we are calling. So inside the class we are creating, this is nothing but encapsulation. So using this feature, what we are getting, this feature keeps the data safe from outside interface and misuse. Okay, without misusing our data members or methods from outside interfaces, this feature is providing the security. That's why this feature keeps the data safe from outside interfaces and misusing, without misusing like that, we can consider. So this leads to the concept of data hiding. It leads to the concept of data hiding. Data hiding is nothing but necessary things showing to the user, unnecessary things hiding from the user. That is the data hiding concept. So here inside the method data members we are creating, and outside only methods we are giving to the users for accessing. So data variables they are unable to see. That is nothing but hiding the data only. So when creating programs, you will understanding about this point clearly. Okay. So next, in an object-oriented Python program, you can restrict access to the methods and variables. Inside the class, we are creating methods and variables. Guys. Inside the class, we are creating methods and variables. So where can access these methods, where cannot access these methods? Methods and variables, where can access, where cannot access? We can restrict. In object-oriented programming. How restricting using encapsulation techniques? We can restricting. Got it? So this can prevent the data from being modified by accident. Is known as encapsulation only. Simply, why to restricting access of methods and variables inside the class in our object-oriented programming? Why to restricting means, so this is the reason to prevent the data from being modified by accident. Accidentally, sometimes data people are going to be modifying. So without modifying some sensitive informations like ATM pin numbers, passwords related, okay, some emails related, some sensitive information. So without modifying accidentally, we can restrict using the encapsulation technique. We can prevent using encapsulation technique. How to preventing later we will discuss. Okay. Now, when working with the classes and dealing with the sensitive data, providing global access to all the variables which are used in the program is not a good choice. This is the problem is if we are providing global access to all the variables which are using inside the program, this is not a good choice in real time. Okay, for sensitive variables related, for sensitive data maintaining purpose, some variables we have to create like a private variables. Only in certain area only we can access them and enter the program anywhere we cannot access. Only certain area we can access. So where can access, where cannot access, slowly you will understand. All of you clear what I'm telling? So encapsulation offers a way for us to access the required variables without providing the full-fledged access in entire program to the variables, guys. So what are the variables, sensitive variables we are using for maintaining the data? Sensitive data maintaining purpose, sometimes creating variables. So for those variables, without providing global access, using encapsulation, we can restrict. For that purpose, encapsulation is providing some ways means some methods, some variations providing. Encapsulation offers some variation to access the required variables without providing the global access in entire program. Okay. And next, updating, modifying, deleting the data from variables can be done through the use of methods only that are defined specifically for the purpose. So inside the class, if we are creating any variables with values, those variables updating or modifying or deleting the data, variables data, these all things directly we are unable to do. Only through the methods we can do it. That is the encapsulation technique. Yes. Through the methods we can interact data members. This benefit, the benefit of using this approach to programming is improved control over the input to data and better security, guys. Using this through the methods data members we are manipulating. Through the methods data members of the class we can manipulating as per the requirement. So this benefit using because of this benefit is our data input getting better security, guys. Data is getting better security. Okay, if you are reading this one, you'll understanding the benefit of this approach, encapsulation approach to programming is improved control over the input data and better security related. So this is the final encapsulation advantage. All of you clear? Now, how to preventing data access from the outside interfaces? For example, in parent class, I'm creating. In child class, I don't want give permission to access parent class variables. Then how you are preventing? By default, because of inheritance, we can access in the child class, but I don't want to give permission. How to preventing? That is we have to know it, guys. Okay. So before that, first one program I'll let you know, and later we'll continue that. So now here, open our previous one. Now create one more. Right click on the new, click on the Python file and give the name here, encapsulation program. Okay, now here we can create a class. So general classes we can create. One class I'm going to create. Inside class, any one class name you can create. For example, one employee class will create here. So employee class employee. Inside this employee class, some variables we can create, guys. So okay, one constructor method I'm creating first with name and age, guys. With the name and age. So age by default the 0 I'm using. This is the default parameter. Okay. So now here I'm going to create a self dot name equal to age value assign. So two instance variables I created here. And next one more method I want to create one more method for displaying related. So here the name is what I want to display. Person name or employee name, whatever you want. For example, this is employee. Employee name is so self dot name like we can use. And next employee age is then here self dot age waiting. So using display method, these are two variables name and age related. We can access this name and age related. Okay. So now next I want to create one object as so emp equal to employee. For employee class object I created. So now if I'm executing, is this throwing any error? For example, here the emp dot display method I'm writing. So is this going to work? Display executing. Come on guys, give reply. Today a lot of programs are required to discussing. Be ready in the chat box. Many people there. Okay, so here constructor method, because of this object creation automatically calling, here the three inputs expecting, only one giving to this self, this current class object sending. So name missing value for this, 0 is their default value, no problem. For this, data is missing guys, data is missing. Now you can execute here. So you're getting employee class constructor method missing one required positional argument name. This is you are facing as a problem. So to this, we have to send the value here. We have to send the value here. For example, Srini, I'm using as a. Okay. So this value sending to here. And if you want, you can also send age. If not sending, default is 0. Okay. So that is the string format. And now here the 35 I'm giving as 35. So name is a Srini, age is a 35 like that. Sending and using them, this instance variable creating. And now whenever I'm calling this display method, these instance variables can use here. Inside one method we can create, in another method we can use. So now we are able to get it. This is the normal programming only. Normal program only. Okay. Class with the methods. So now these variables, guys, these variables are like a name, age, like normally I created before the name without any underscore prefixes, a single underscore or double underscore not there. So normally created these things called as public members, public variables. And before this method name, no underscores there, called as a public method here. Okay. So simply here you can consider like create a class. Create a class with a public variables and method with the public variables and method, and finally access them or execute them. So in other languages like Java, guys, access modifiers a concept there. There the public keyword, private keyword, protect keyword they are using Java people. So using them, they can define public members, private members, protected members like that. But in Python, we don't have any specific keywords for access modifiers concept related. We don't have any specific keywords like a public, private, protector. Then in Python, how we are making variables or methods as a protected members or as a private members. For that, Python is providing a variation, guys. Python is providing one variation. So before the variable name or method name, use a single underscore prefix, consider like a protected members. Use a double underscore prefix before the variable name or method name, consider like a private members. That variation providing. So using that, we can write in Python. Okay, na? This is public variables and method, public variables and public method, guys. So now here outside the class, this is a class, guys. Outside the class, public method I executed here. Public method directly we can call. And also if you want here public variables, this name and age are called as public variables. Not only within the class, outside the class also we can execute. For example, here I'm going to print. I'm going to print. So here employee name, simply like a name I'm writing. So here then we can use a reference name dot object name emp dot name like we're using, and next age emp dot age like we can use. So these instance variables, guys, are using the object reference we can access emp dot name emp dot age. So this is outside the class. Outside the class. For example, here can write outside the class. Outside the class, I'm trying to printing. So yes, outside the class successfully able to accessing. These are inside the class, inside the method. Okay. Next, same program only, multiple changes I will do. Now, create a class with protected protected variables and protected variables and protected method, guys. Protected variables and protected method and access them. So protected variables and methods how we are access how we are creating means, so use underscore prefix, single underscore prefix before the variable name or method name. For example, name age is there, guys. So before the name underscore I'm using, and before the age also underscore I'm using, single underscore. Okay, so these things as it is you can use here, underscore, again underscore. Okay, so by seeing like this before the variable name, by seeing the single underscore prefix, then other developers considering like these variables are protected members, protected variables. So these protected variables within the class and its child classes we can use, guys. Inside this class or in its child classes we can use. Like that they are getting some understanding and they are not going to modifying these values. They are not going to updating. So they are going to using only for safety purpose. And now here outside also, guys, underscore prefix, and here also underscore prefix we can use. And this method also, if you want to create like a what is protected, then underscore you can write before the method name. So if you want to execute here the underscore prefix, you have to use it. Underscore prefix. Got it, this one? So protected members like this we are creating. So in Python, in Java, guys, protected keyword is there, protect keyword is there, public, protect, private like that. In Python, we don't have any access modifier keyword. That's why protected members we are defining like that. But it is also these protected variables also, or this protected method also, like a public members, like a public variables or public method, we can access anywhere we can access, no restriction here. Okay, so here also we are going to get output like a public members. All of it clear? So then why to creating these protected members instead of public members, like getting doubts. So this is just giving some confirmation to the child developers. This employee class, if any other child classes using inside any other child classes, if inheriting from this employee, then those people able to use this name and age related. So they are not going to modifying this name variable, age variable like that. They are going to use this name and age because of this underscore. So just we are giving some confirmation to the child class developers. Consider this name and age as a protected members. This display method as a protected members. So don't recreate like that. Some information we are passing to the child class developers. Okay, na? Just that's it. This is not completely restricting, guys. Remember. And if we want to restrict these variables from the outside class or from the child classes, so we have to make it them as private members. We have to create them as private members. Yes. So private members, how to creating? Use double underscore prefix before the variable name or method name, guys. So here, private, create a class with private variables and private method and access them. Access them. So here, private members means double underscore we are using. Double underscore. And here also can use double underscore. In all places, properly do changes. Okay. Now this method, okay, right now I'm creating like a normal method, guys. Normal method. And this outside accessing, I will execute later. So this one is underscore, single underscore not required. Yes. Okay, now check it, guys. I created one employee class, inside that one constructed with the name and age there. Two private variables like a name and age I created, and one normal method, display method I created. Inside that, both the private variables I'm calling, I'm printing, accessing. So now I created object here, immediately memory creating here, and then I'm calling normal method display. So inside this class, these are the private members, guys. So these private members we can restrict from outside classes. When anyone trying to accessing these private variables from outside the classes or from the child classes, they are unable to use them. Just within the class, they can use them. Within the class, inside the method, they can use them, direct variables. Okay, na? So that's why whenever I'm calling display method, I'm going to get output successfully, Rainy and 35. Okay. So next, coming to here, guys. Coming to here. Outside the class, I'm trying to accessing this private member double underscore and next here double underscore there. So here within the class, double underscore variable worked, but outside the class, working or not, check it. Outside the class. So you're getting attribute error, guys. Employee object has no attribute, double underscore name like that. Even though we created a double underscore name attribute, but employee class is considering like a no attribute with this name, double underscore name like that, error returned because of this statement. This is the where I created in the outside. For example, if I'm clicking here, so our cursor is blinking here. Cursor is blinking here. So because of this line, we got it that error. Outside the class statement also, we got it output. And after that, we got it error. All of you understanding? So I created these variables as a private variables. Inside the class, in any method, we can use them directly. But outside the class, whenever trying to accessing, restricting Python, unable to use private members in the outside the class. Now here, this is the error you're getting attribute here. Hope you are understanding this program. And next, inheritance also we will use inheritance, or else only up to here I will use. See here, this is the normal method. I called normal method directly inside that the private members were able to accessing. If I'm creating this member as a private member, this method as a private method means double underscore prefix I used. Double underscore prefix. Then at the time of calling also double underscore prefix I'm using. Okay. So object name dot method name. Is this working or not? Check it. See, attribute error, employee class object has no attribute, double underscore display. This is not there. How you can call like that error returning. But I created a method, na? Double underscore display method. Without double underscore, if only display is there, outside we are able to accessing. But because of this double underscore, unable to accessing. So because of this statement, we got it here, problem statement. Are you cleared my question, my program? Okay. So next, these private members, how to accessing, I will let you know. There is a variation, there is a technique. Using that technique, we can access, guys, no worries. And one more. Okay, here simply create a private method and access outside the class. Create a private method and access the outside the class using object reference. Using the object reference, I'm trying to accessing. That's why I got it this error. Okay, next, this is one class, parent class, employee class with constructor and display. Okay, next, I want to create one more class. Okay, for example, here the person I will use, guys, person class. So here in this employee place, a person name we can use. Again, person name. Okay, person name is person age is like that. Now here, employee inheriting from person. Every employee is a person. Okay, no? So now here, I want to create one method, guys. I want to create one method, read method or display method, whatever you want, you can create. Display two. My method name is like a display two, guys. Display two, my method name. Okay, so inside this directly I'm trying to accessing this private member, person name. Now here person name is and next person age is age like I created, guys, inside the display. And now I'm creating object for this employee with the Srini and 35. Okay, so check it. This employee class I'm calling employee class. So inside this employee class, no constructor method is there. In its parent class, constructor method is there. That's why jumping to here and that name and age coming to here using them instance variables creating. Okay, so that's why I given values like that. And next, I'm going to call yeah employee equal to. Okay, in this. I'm not creating private, just method normal method. Okay, so normal method I created, guys. Hmm. Now here, emp dot display method I'm using. Am I going to get output? Am I going to get output? Emp dot display in the employee display to is there. I call the display. So first display method we are able to use. First checking inside the employee, their display not there, moving to the parent, yes, here display there. So inside the display, I'm trying to accessing private members. Within the class, we are able to successfully accessing within the class. I created object for child. Using the child object, a parent method I'm calling. This is a normal method jumping to here. So now this statement where you are executing within the current class only executing. Within the current class, we are able to accessing private variables. All of you clear this one? Everyone. And now another one, print one line gap, emp dot display to. So now display to method belongs to employee class, child class. So inside that employee display two is there. Okay, going to executing. So inside this method, I'm calling private members. These members were available in parent class available. So inside this class, if creating any private members, private variables, within this class only, In any method we can reuse, no problem, but not in the child classes. But not in the child classes. Okay. So here the using display, I move to parent class and here executing no problem. But in display 2, these variables I'm trying to accessing directly inside this display 2. That's why we're going to get error. Attribute error, employee class object has no attribute, no attribute you can see here. Actually our variable name is what? Double underscore name. But underscore class name double underscore like that checking. I will let you know about this one. Just wait. This attribute is not there like that error returned because of this calling. Because of this calling, you're getting that error. So identify the answers, yes, sir. Identify the result. Then you will understanding what is happening like that. Hmm. And this program only with another variation. Okay, now this method is a private method. Okay, this is a private method. I created like a private method, and next display method is there. Here, whenever I'm trying to accessing, so we are unable to get it, guys. So we are unable to get it. Okay, these two lines I'm going to commenting, and inside this, using this super class dot display method, I'm calling. So now check it. Normal method super dot display. Super dot display. Here also normal method I'm creating. So check it, guys. Then this is we are not going to call. This is we are not going to call. I created an employee class object. In employee class display to is there calling. So inside that using the super method, parent class display method calling. So inside that these private members we are able to accessing, no worries, no problem, no problem. We got it. But the same method, if I'm creating like this private. So we have to use here also private syntax. So now private members inside the child class we are unable to accessing. So display method is a private member. Super class related private method I'm trying to call from the child class. Okay. So this statement executing because of that coming to here inside that parent method parent class related private member we are calling parent member private member. So this is going to return error. Attribute error. Super object has no attribute. Display method. Before the display method underscore class name given. Why it is given? I will let you know. Wait. Lot of variations are given, guys. You have to be follow it clearly. Hmm. So because of this line, we're getting error. Whenever I'm calling this display to, this is working. This is working, guys. So simply moving to display inside that executing this because of this statement coming to here. Okay, this is the private member. That's why not executing. Okay. So identify the result in this program. Finally, our confirmation is what? Private variables or private methods we are unable to access inside the child class or outside the class, outside the current class. For example, this is the display method. So directly using the person class object if I'm calling this one, or else using the employee object if I'm calling this one outside the class here, then also not executing. Okay, already explained that one here. Private member here, unable to accessing outside the class. Okay, like this we can restrict, guys, parent class related private variables or methods without accessing from outside the class or from the child classes. We can restrict like this for data security purpose. But still Python is providing one variation for accessing these private members also. For accessing these private members also, Python is providing one technique. That technique name is called as a name mangling technique. The technique name is called as name mangling. What is name mangling? Can you explain about that, like asking? Or else how to accessing a private class members? Members means it may be variables or it may be method. How to accessing a class private variables or methods from outside the class or from the child classes? If asking by using a name mangling technique, we can access like you have to say it. Yeah, within the class, we can access private variables and methods. From the outside the class or from the child classes, we are unable to accessing by default. But using name mangling technique, we can access that point. Remember, working with name mangling technique. Okay, simply name mangling. So now, okay, first this program, I'll let you know this one outside the class. Previously not working this one. Now it is going to working. See, I created one employee class with private variables and private method. This private method, if I'm trying to executing here, it's private method if I'm trying to executing. So attribute error written previously, attribute error, okay, display method like that. So if we are using name mangling technique, we can access that. What is that name mangling technique means? Actually, our variable name is what? Double underscore name, for example. So whenever we are creating any variable name with a prefix double underscore considered as a private variable, then immediately Python interpreter creating this variable like underscore. What is our class name? My class name is here employee underscore class name double underscore variable name. Your variable name is name. Okay, like this creating inside the memory. This a private variable like this Python internally in memory allocation creating like this. Okay, na? So outside the class, whenever you are trying to use this one with the double underscore name, so employee class not having this attribute like that, some error coming, guys. Some error coming. So if you are using this name for accessing that private member, then you are able to accessing. You are able to accessing. If it is a method, before the method underscore class name you can use, you are able to accessing. So right now see, within this class, these two variables as it is working, but these two variables available inside the method, private method. The private method we are unable to use here. So to overcome that, here, I'm going to use underscore class name. My class name is employee underscore, okay. So employee display employee class double underscore display. Is there any spelling mistake? Okay, execute. Okay, working guys. By seeing this underscore, maybe error coming like that. I thought like that. Okay, now check it here. Object name dot underscore class name double underscore property name. Maybe method or class. A method or variables. So I'm using private method. So this one is available in the memory because of creating like this. Internally in the memory allocation, underscore class name, double underscore method name like that, creating identifier name. So that as it is name I used here. That's why we are able to accessing no error. No error here. Okay. So this is working guys, working. And next, there's a private variables outside the class. If we want accessing, simply here, this is a class belongs to employer. Okay. Employee name, first name will take employee name. Employee name is, so your object name dot double underscore name. If using like this, we are unable to get it. So this is the converted like what? Underscore class name. Underscore class name double underscore name. So this is the syntax, guys. This is the syntax. Okay, now execute. See here, employee name, we are able to accessing outside the class. Same like that. Employee is also can access outside the class. All of you clear this one? Inside the class, direct variable names directly we can use, no problem. So here only inside this class only, if any normal method is there, inside that normal method, if you are calling this private method like this name only, no problem working. But outside the class, if you want a class name underscore class name prefix, we have to use before the private member. This is the technique called name mangling technique. How to accessing private members from outside the classes. If anyone asking using name mangling technique can access like that, you can see it. And already here the child class, parent class related I given. So here also you can use the same mangling technique. Okay, now here private member. This is the normal method. Here underscore employee, like I'm using. So I'm calling child class method. Inside that a parent class related private method using this name mangling technique I'm calling. Then working. Super object has no attribute employee display. Okay. Here what I used employee class I used. Okay. Here the person class, this one person guys. Okay. So you have to use that one. Person. This private method created in which class? Person class. Person underscore person. Like we have to get it. Then working. So inside the child class method, I'm calling parent class private method with that parent class name also. So like this, we can access guys private members outside the inside the child classes or from outside the classes. This is the concept of name handling. All of you clear so far? Now, next one more one. Working with setters and getters, setters and getters, setters and getters methods are simply setter getter methods. Working with the setter getter methods. This is important real-time development. Creating the setter methods, getter methods are very important. Why to creating, how to accessing, this all you have to understand. Okay. So inside our class, guys, if any private member there, these things within the class directly we can access, no problem. But outside the class, whenever we are trying to use them, so like this name handling technique we are using. So without using this name handling technique and all, for every variable, create methods for setting value, for getting value. Create a methods. Those methods we are calling setter methods, getter method. For setting value related setter method, for getting value related getter method we are calling. Why we are creating setters and getters means, so if we don't want to show the variables information, if this variable is a private variable or a protected variable or a normal variable like that, I don't want to show to the users this variable information. Just if anyone want to use this variable, they can access, they can add value to this name. Okay, so internal implementation, I want to hide from the user. Internal implementation, I want to hide from the user, and what they want to use name and age variables. So using setters and getters, they can use. This is the advantage of setters and getters. Data hiding process. Data hiding process purpose, we can use this setters, getters. Also, one more advantage using setters and getters, we can provide the validations also, guys. We can provide the validations to our data variables. To our data variables. Okay, na? So one example, I will let you know how to provide validation. What is the real advantage using setter and getter? Can see here. Okay, I'm creating like this. So this variable is a normal variable like I created. This age is like a private variable I created. So which variable is normal, which variable is private, like these all things no need to show to the normal user, and users also no worries about this variable declaration. Is it private or protected or public like that? So simply I created like that, and one method I created, display method, and inside that this name variable accessing and the age variable also accessing. If you want, you can create name also as a private, no problem. That's your wish. Okay, no? Person name, person age, like I'm displaying. So here only, I want create one method for age related guys, only for age. So name is a normal variable, so directly we can access, no problem. So for name also, if you want, you can create it guys, so no problem. Set name. I'll create this also as private, no problem. So here private. So now here set name of self comma one name I'm giving, and now here self dot double underscore name equal to name. This is a setter method we are calling, and for this a getter method guys. Okay, okay, both getters I will write at a time. Set age of self comma age. Okay, so now here the self dot double underscore age equal to age. Okay, so now these two things called as setters. Okay, set the name, set the age. Next, get related. Def get name, get name, and return self dot name. Simply, okay, this is not required. Now here, return self dot double underscore name, and same like that. Def def get age and return self dot age like this. So if single line is there guys, within the same line also we can create if you want, or else you can break to like this. Okay, now for these two variables name and age related, these setters and getters I created. Okay, so inside this using double underscore directly we can update value, we can access value like that when returning. Okay, so now create object for this, create object. So person Srini 35 like I'm using. So person object is there guys, person object. So if I'm calling display method, the display method is belongs to current class only. Inside the current class, private members we can access, no problem, no problem. If I want to update this age value or name value, so if we are not using these setters and getters related, so private variable concept carefully we have to use. So without worrying about them, now here person dot set name, set name of here Ashok I'm using, and the next set age of 40 I'm using as set age of 40. So I updated like this. So this Ashok value sending to this function wherever set name is there. So now here name is there. This name value updating in this variable. Okay, na? Same like age also. So after setting, we can get it as print print person object dot get name, and next print get age. So here values we are setting, and we are getting. Why I'm using here print means, so in get related method return keyword I used. This value return to here, that is printing. Here if I'm using print, then directly here only printing, no need of print here. That is your wish. So now you can execute here. So this is using the display method guys, and now here Ashok and 40 you're getting. Okay. Now here, if age value guys, if age value entered less than 18, I don't want to accept that age value. For example, less than 18 or else negative age simply. If age anyone entered negative age, I don't want to accept that age. Okay. So right now here, minus 40. If I'm sending this minus, uh, this is working, no problem. Now here negative value guys, minus 40. So this is also working, minus 40 also working. But age with the negative, not correct now. So I want to restrict this one. I want to restrict this one. So if anyone sending negative age, so that age value coming to here, and here we can write validation. If uh, if age value guys, if age value less than 0, if age value less than 0, this one simply age value less than 0 means negative value, that is a negative value. Then I will write here some error, or else directly greater than related. If you want to check if age is greater than 0, then you can update that age value. That age value can update. Okay. So otherwise here we can return else message. So outside if nothing but else only guys. Outside if simply I will write else here. So I want to return some message. For example, uh, I want to call exception guys. So raise value error. So already you people knows exception handling related. Age must be greater than or equal to 0. Greater than or equal to 0, like that we can write. So this error message we have to handle. This value error we have to handle by using exception handling. Okay. So right now we are not. I don't exception here. So simply print I want to use. Then so here age must be greater than or equal to 0. This message I want to display. If greater than 0, updating here. If less than 0, then this message printing. So now check it here. So guys here age must be greater than or equal to 0. Or equal to 0. 0 you can write. Mhm. So because of giving this minus value 40, you're getting this one. You're getting this one. Okay, now? So whenever I'm getting, so because of this error message, you got it, guys. And next, because of this one, get name, Ashok value. This is updated properly. Ashok value you're getting. So get age related. Initial value 35 only. We got it here. 35 only. You got it. Okay. If it is successfully updated, then accessing here. If we are not using these setters and getters, then here the person object dot underscore underscore the person class name double underscore the name variable equal to our entered value, whatever is there. For example, Ramu, like we need to update, guys. So this is the name mangling technique. If you don't know about the name mangling, or if you are writing every time like this, okay, so code complexity increasing. So that's why via these setters and getters, we are defining as via the getters and setters. So now age related only, I did here validation. Same like that, name related also, without entering any name, simply empty characters, empty space if I'm entering. So name must be, or name cannot be null. Okay, name cannot be empty. Like you can write a validation message. So every validation if satisfying, then only the data is going to be updating. Okay, now? So like this, using the setters and getters, we can provide the validation things to the every variable. And also you can see here, so normal users, so this is going to using, okay, na? Person dot set name, sending this value to this function. In this function, this is method. In this method, variable is created with a private variable syntax or protected syntax. This is not required to the users. They are just going to use like a set name, set age, like that. For example, when we are working with the bank application, withdraw money, deposit money, balance inquiry money, just we are going to use those methods. But inside that method, how they created logic, so which type of variables they created, private or protected or normal variables. These all not required to us. When we are trying to withdraw money, money is coming or not, that is we are focusing. So unnecessary things inside this method we are hiding, and only to the user methods we are displaying. This is called encapsulation. Okay. Okay, guys. I will share some tasks also, guys, to you separately. A lot of tasks I created, all in one class discussing not possible. Do practice this. So your bank account related deposit money. If money more than zero is there, then only depositing. Less than zero money is there, the money not negative money, guys. So deposit must be positive money. Okay, positive value. Withdraw related 10,000 is there. If you are trying to withdraw 20,000, then insufficient balance displaying. Otherwise, deducting from your balance. From your 10,000, 5,000 if you want to withdraw, deducting and remaining balance updating here. Okay, when you are using get balance, your balance return to you. So here this is a getter method. This is the private variables. So no need to worry about the private variable and all. Using getter, directly we can access, we can update it. Okay. So here this is one bank related, one student marks related, add student marks, get marks related, get all marks related here there. You can check it line by line and execute it, you will get it. And one shopping cart related, it is in Amazon, Flipkart, we are using logics like this only. Use the private variable to keep the cart items secured and expose only methods to add or remove our list of items. So here one empty list I created with items as a private variable for security reason, and using add item method. Okay, using append method, a particular item adding to here. Using remove item, if item already available in this list, then only we are going to removing. So using the remove method in Python, list concept I explained, remove method, append method, all, and membership operators, conditions, all we discussed. Show items. So in this items method, what are the items there returning? Copy, duplicate copy if you want, a copy method we are using. So new object going to returning. See here the cart object I created, and using add item, one laptop adding, one mouse adding, and now here laptop and mouse there. Again, I'm removing here laptop. Next, finally, only mouse is there. So if I'm calling show items method, so available items displaying mouse item. So here, these all some real-time scenario related examples. Guys, employee salary management. So here the multiple employees data with the names, salaries I want to create, and every employee salary 10% I want to increment, and then final salary I want to display, guys. 10% I want to increment. So increment related logics like this we are writing. Actual salary into increment salary, increment percentage by 100. This is the calculation. So these are all the tasks here, the school management task there. In this program, guys, this is the main program. Here the inheritance, polymorphism, encapsulation, all things together I applied. So here the class description I given and the program also I given. It is a big program. So go through this one, you will understanding. Input to examples also I given. These are the tasks. Do practice, you people. Anyone having doubts, let me know in the next session. Okay. So next tomorrow, data abstraction, Python OOPS principle, fourth principle, abstraction is there. So that is I'm going to discussing there all together. We are using all the principles. Okay, na? So interfaces, how to creating abstract methods, how to creating concrete classes, abstract classes, all you'll get it. Don't miss it. So tomorrow after abstraction completing, the OOPS principle completing, then one more session for the types of variables, the magic methods. That is all we will discuss. Okay. So before this weekend, our OOPS concept going to completing before this Sunday. Monday onwards, guys, new workshop for your session, regular session. Some other people also will join. And Monday onwards, Pandas and NumPy going to discussion. Got it? Remember. Thank you. See you. Bye.